Okie dokie. Launching into the February Patreon request videos. Once again, this person did not identify how they would like me to identify them. Needless to say, this is a Patreon video, but they only wanted me to respond to the question at about 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the video. So I backed it up about 10 seconds just to make sure, because sometimes the timestamps are a little wonky. That's human error, and so let's deal with this. I'm assuming this has to do with what about debating Ben Shapiro, Milo Yiannopoulos, or Crowder. This was published on October 1st, 2017. Now, of all the people that I would like to see Kullinski in a debate with, it is Ben Shapiro. I think both of these two are smarmy little stupid fucks that both for any good idea they have, they got a bad one coming down the pipe.
Give people in the top 1% money. I don't think they should have this universal basic income because they don't need that money. So what the fuck are we talking about here?
So universal basic income for slobs, but not for, okay, whatever.
Somebody asks, will you ever debate a conservative in the near future at events like Politicon?
Now, I'd like to point out that the last guy that went up against Shapiro that was kind of on Kyle's level was Cenk Uygur, and I don't want to get into a debate over which is smarter or anything like that, but Ben Shapiro kicked the living shit out of him.
Such. That's another good question. So, and this was the number one question, by the way. People asking, when are you going to debate Ben Shapiro? When are you going to debate Steven Crowder? And, fill in the blank with whoever their favorite conservative might be.
I will happily debate you, Kyle.
And the answer to this is, at this point, I'm actually torn. There was a time where I wasn't torn, but now I'm torn on it. So,
why? Either you will debate or you won't. I think for your positions, see, this is the problem when you don't debate and somebody really challenges your position, is it makes your position look weak because it can't stand up to an argument. That's kind of the problem. Now, yes, there are people that are just fucking annoying that you don't want to deal with. But this is somebody you've probably done a debate or for with.
On the one hand, the thought of putting my ideas up against a conservative's ideas, somebody like Ben Shapiro or whoever, I like that. I like that. I like the idea of sitting across from them and going back and forth and letting the audience decide who did a better job and who presented their ideas better and who they think is right. I do like that idea. But on the other hand, and this is what I've always been struggling with when people ask this question, I might be doing a disservice to the audience by doing that because...
Why? The audience gets to hear your ideas. They get to hear Steven Crowder's or Ben Shapiro's ideas. And by the way, I'm somebody that listens to both of your ideas, and I attack both of you regularly based on the fact that you're too far left, he's too far right. But let the audience make up their own mind. For Christ's sakes, I've taken the controversial stance. I'm pro-death, for God's sakes. And I know at one point somebody's going to call me out for that, and I'm going to have to defend it.
It's setting up this false equivalence. So, and what I mean by that is, if you go back and look at Bill Nye versus Ken Ham, for example, Bill Nye is talking about...
What the fuck are you talking about? The Bill Nye Ken Ham debate was a completely different premise than how we should govern the fucking country. Oh my God.
About things that are just like, duh. And Ken Ham is this creationist who's a lunatic who's saying things that have been debunked 1,000 times over. But since it's a debate, it's being presented as a 50-50 proposition.
No, it's not. Here's the debate. Ken Ham says the world was created in 6 days about 6,000 years ago. Bill Nye is saying no, it actually started about 6 billion years ago, and it's been a long process. Ken Ham's argument doesn't stand a chance because Bill's argument is better. But yes, both arguments start off on, I guess, equal footing. But then Bill Nye comes up and smashes the shit out of Ken Ham's argument with this thing called logic. This is the problem, Kyle, and this is where I'm thinking maybe the cracks in your shit started to form, because progressivism is not as popular, nor is it sustainable, nor is it really defendable at this point.
Where it's like, hey, it's an open question and let's debate these things. But
and yes, I will still, to this day, even though I've done it probably 3,000 times over the years, I will still debate a creationist over whether or not the Earth is 6,000 years old. They're just not going to like the response.
Aren't you doing a disservice when it's not an open question anymore?
No! No! I'll debate a flat earther! I'll debate somebody that thinks we faked the moon landing! Because the best way to expose an argument for how stupid or bad it is to, quite frankly, debate it and bring it out into the light. Right now you're talking like Riley Dennis. Like, you know, at some level, the way you want to do shit doesn't fucking work.
To debate it and present it like it is an open question. So, for example, climate change. It's not an open question. It's happening and it's largely man-made. Okay.
Well, then you have to account for all the times the Earth's climate has changed when either A, we weren't at the Industrial Revolution, or B, we just weren't even a thing. Care to answer that?
Okay.
And also, what if I concede it's changing? Okay, I'll even concede it's man-made. Now what the fuck, outside of tanking the economy and sending us back to the dark ages, are your solutions to the problem? We can't just snap our fingers and go to solar. That's where I'd frame the debate. We're still completely dependent on coal. Maybe with a 50-year time plan, we have a shot. But I'm sorry, Kyle. The world begins and ends with power. You know, my thing is, I wouldn't even debate you on that. I'd cede the notion. Okay, fine. It's man-made climate change. We're horrible, evil, rotten viruses on this earth. However, we are here right now. What do you propose we do? Because unless you propose us all going Amish, we're kind of fucked.
Okay, so when you have on CNN somebody saying climate change is happening and somebody saying climate change isn't happening, that does a disservice to the debate because it's a false equivalency, because it's leaving the impression that...
No, that's not. He's saying it's happening. He's saying it's not. I don't know who bears the burden of proof in that argument. Also, what if we had the debate of, is climate change just going to be a non-event? Also, I can go on the argument that I've been alive probably a little bit longer than you, and I remember at least a few more doomsday, impending destruction, environmental shit that didn't amount to diddly dick. I'll still have the debate. And if I was against you, I'd say, okay, Kyle, let's say climate change is happening. Let's say it's man-made. I'll give you those 2 points. What the fuck do we do about it? Because the world is not going Amish. What are your solutions, buckaroo? What are your realistic solutions for this problem? Also, what the fuck are you gonna do about China and India, the 2 biggest producers of CO2 gas? Like, America can go carbon neutral and it's not a drop in the... We are nowhere near the biggest producer of carbon on this planet. This is what these leftist idiots don't get. This is what AOC doesn't get. This is what Kyle is not getting right now. We get beat out. Right now, it's over 2-1 by China. Okay? The United States is cutting its carbon. A lot of places, including Western Europe, are increasing. India is rapidly increasing. China is rapidly increasing. What the fuck do you plan to do about that? Like, America can't do this by itself. It's got to be the world. But you leftists love communist China because you guys love communism.
That, I don't know, it's equally valid. You pick a side. That is horrible. That's not... It's like saying, you know, again, evolution versus creationism. We have the answer. So why are you debating it? Oh, I don't know what the answer.
Because the second you say an idea is either too dangerous or too stupid to debate, that gives the idea credibility. Okay? That means that you're saying that I'm not going to bother with this idea because it's too stupid. But now, I want to be clear. Earlier in the video, I said I wouldn't debate the same people. I'll debate the same idea, just with different people. Once you won't debate an idea, you do give the audience the benefit of the doubt of maybe the person that he's refusing to debate, or the idea, or more importantly, the idea that he's refusing to debate, maybe there's some meat on that bone. Maybe his position isn't that strong, that the earth is round and we went to the moon and blah, blah, blah. Not debating it is literally the stupidest thing you could do. But again, I haven't really heard even Ben fucking Shapiro say that the earth is 6,000 years old. So I don't know why you're still harboring on this Ken Ham bullshit.
Answer is...
And I don't even remember the last time that Ben Shapiro or Crowder denied climate change. They're just disputing the causes of it, and they're bringing up a valid question. What do you plan to do to stop it without us all going Amish? You know, we had a real chance to become relatively carbon neutral. That was with nuclear. But you leftist faggots made sure that didn't happen.
So I do think that does a disservice when if you have somebody like me, and then you have somebody like Ben Shapiro, and we're debating the issue of healthcare, and I'm up there saying, hey, every other modern nation has one version or another of a single-payer system. When you look at the rankings of the healthcare systems throughout the world, the top 10 is virtually all single-payer systems. The U.S. does shitty. We're the worst of the developed nations.
Well, not exactly true.
Look at the World Health Organization study or other subsequent studies that have been done. This isn't a debate anymore.
No, not exactly true. One, a lot of those Western nation countries can afford their single-payer subsidized health care because, at least they could for a while, because they don't have a military. They're treaty protected by us. Two, it kind of started last couple of years to turn against them. They started electing more right-wing people because their countries were on the verge of collapse. Third, Ben Shapiro will kindly point out that, most of the medical innovation still comes out of, what country? Oh, yes, us. Okay.
And then you have guys like Ben Shapiro who's like, expensive furniture is like healthcare. Remember that tweet that I mock all the time about, he compares people getting healthcare when they're sick to not being able to afford expensive furniture. I think I'm doing a disservice to the audience when I'm up there and I'm pretending like this is a debatable topic.
Okay. So here's a thought. Here's a thought experiment for you, Kyle. If you're so sure, if you are so cocksure that you can destroy Ben Shapiro in a debate, then why wouldn't you challenge him or find a way to get in contact with him and debate him and destroy him. If your ideas are so much better than his, once again, Ben Shapiro kicked the crap out of Cenk Uygur. Ben Shapiro has a much larger audience than you. And they're not all these mindless sycophants that hang on his every word like it's gospel. There are a ton of people like me, centrists, that listen to both you and Shapiro. Once again, are you really afraid that it's just because your position is that fucking weak? You're not doing a disservice. Right now, you're doing the disservice by not having the debate.
In other words, in a situation like that, debate is not merited. Fact-checking is merited. Where you go, okay, this guy's wrong, and here's why the fuck he's wrong.
No, you're also not taking a ton of other shit into fucking your reasoning, dickhead. You're saying their healthcare systems are better than ours, even though we're responsible for a majority of the innovations in healthcare technology, and also they have a completely different socioeconomic model than we do. Also, Kyle, I don't think you want to pay 60% sales tax, or 60% income taxes, 50% sales taxes, and then 25% taxes on essential goods like food and clothing. That's what you get with the Nordic countries, dickface.
So that's why I'm torn on this. And also, I only would debate somebody who I think is real and not playing a character. And
I guarantee you, Ben Shapiro, the guy you hear on his podcast is the guy that goes home at night. Steven Crowder, yeah, I think he's that little dweeby Christian dickhead. The reason I base this on is Joe Rogan's. Who the fuck was the third one? Milo Yiannopoulos? Milo might be the only one that might be playing a character. Alex Jones lied and said he was playing a character because he was getting divorced.
And I don't know about guys like Milo and Steven Crowder.
Okay.
Are they genuine? Are they legit? I don't know.
I will say Steven Crowder is, if you watch the Joe Rogan interview, yeah, he's that little dweeby Christian. Milo, I don't know.
Oh, I genuinely don't know if Steve.
Okay, so why wouldn't you fucking debate Shapiro then?
Steven Crowder says Hitler was a liberal. And there are people.
Well, he wasn't a liberal. Okay, I'll be fair. But he was a socialist, and liberals have adopted socialism.
People who have a hard-on for me to debate him. What on earth is going to be accomplished by me debating a guy who says Hitler was a liberal? He also, by the way, says, to this day, climate change is a liberal hoax.
Okay, then here's what can be accomplished. You debate each other, you destroy him, you make him look like an idiot, you gain any centrist that's following him. You win.
He also believes in a zombie Jewish carpenter who walked on water. Like, these are all things that are so preposterous that wouldn't it...
So you wouldn't debate a Christian then?
It be a disservice to go out there and debate this guy and give the misimpression to the audience, hey, we're talking about issues that are up in the air.
No, oh my God. No, you're missing the point. The point is, he's saying stupid things. If you debate the stupid things that he says, you can expose them for being completely stupid, because he won't be able to defend them. Now, here's my problem with you, Kyle, is a lot of shit you say is indefensible.
They're not up in the fucking air. It's not a question as to whether or not Hitler was a liberal. You know who says Hitler was a liberal? The dumbest motherfuckers on the planet, or liars. Liars who are playing a...
Once again, Hitler was on the left. I think that was the point Stephen was making.
Fucking character who are being Mr. Conservatism So he's either the biggest idiot on the planet or he's a liar. I don't. If you're saying Hitler was a liberal, so I don't know. That's what I.
But I won't say Hitler is a liberal because he was against liberal principles. But once again, I don't know how the fuck you people can call yourself liberals anymore because you believe in completely illiberal things. And that's why you keep losing. And also, progressivism is not that fucking hot. You guys have put everything, you've gone all in on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it's not working out for you.
What I struggle with. I struggle with lending credence to.
Oh my God, you are not lending credence to an argument. Just because you show up to a debate doesn't mean you're endorsing the fucking argument, you retard.
People who are frauds.
I have debated people that said communism is a good thing. Do you honestly think I'm saying by showing up to a debate that, oh, communism's all right? The fuck? No, Kyle, basically what it is you. This is after the Shapiro-Uger thing. The fact is, you know how unpopular progressivism is. Only 8% of the American population agree with progressivism. You've lost the culture war, and you just don't want to debate things. You know a UBI is impossible unless robots are doing 99% of jobs or we have like a matter replicator from Star Trek. Okay? You know a UBI is impossible. Like, you can't be this stupid.
Or con artists, or liars like that. I struggle with that. I struggle with presenting it as some sort of false equivalence when in reality these people need to be fact-checked, not debated.
Oh, and you don't need to be fact-checked. You just need to be debated. Because I have news for you, Kyle. A lot of shit that you spout is horse shit. Hitler, whether you like it or not, was on the left. Joseph Stalin, whether you like it or not, was on the left. Mao Zedong was on the left. Pol Pot, left. Even throwing out Hitler, you still have a guy, Stalin, who killed 10 times what Hitler did. So, yeah, okay, I'll concede Hitler.
But then I also struggle with the fact that they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. They're out there, their audiences are growing, and...
Now, here's the thing. Why do you think Steven Crowder grows by 250,000 subscribers every month? Why do you think Ben Shapiro grows much faster than you? Why do you think the right is growing much faster? Why do you think Gen Z, the younger generation from you millennials, is conservative by all accounts, by what you people would call conservative? You think it's maybe because your message sucks? You think maybe that because you fight for shitty things or unsustainable things, or maybe Gen Z grew up with jobs and they don't want to be taxed to death?
They also get to spin a situation where a guy like me doesn't debate them. They get to spin it as, oh, he's weak and he doesn't think his ideas will hold up, and they get to play the fake macho.
Well, aren't you kind of proving their point? Just not for nothing? Are you not just proving their point?
Showman game. So, I don't know. I used to say, no, I'm not going to debate them because I don't trust them. I don't think they're real. I think
oh my God. How the if they're fake. If they are fake, then a debate would completely expose them.
They're playing character.
I honestly wonder if you're fake, Kyle, because you won't debate. You claim to support all these high tax policies, yet you're in the top 5% of income earners. Again, math.
Characters, I think it does a disservice to the audience. But now I'm at the point where they're getting stronger and stronger. Their audiences are getting bigger and bigger.
Crowder already had you beat in terms of audience size about tenfold by this point, buddy. So, yeah.
They're still saying the ridiculous shit that they've been saying all along.
Oh, we hurry up.
They're not going anywhere, so whatever. Even if it is, presenting a false equivalence to the audience, pretending things are debatable that aren't debatable, even if I'm debating somebody who's basically playing a character, whatever, fuck it. Let's just do it anyway, just to get it over with and to get people off our ass about it. Okay. Oh, and just one more point about that. I distinctly remember watching.
Well, right now, with at least in terms of Crowder and Shapiro, you would be the little pissant trying to get them to debate you.
A few years back, a video of Noam Chomsky when he agreed to debate some, pro-Israeli Zionist lunatic, honestly. And the debate was just that guy shouting down Noam Chomsky for like an hour and a half. And I watched it and I went,
so we should follow Ta-Nehisi Coates or Louis Farrakhan then?
I just learned a lesson here. Don't go against people like that because nothing came out of it.
Okay, no, something did. In that debate, Noam Chomsky was the winner because all the other guy could do was scream at him and not let him talk. That's why in debates, I will let my opponent talk and talk and talk. Because usually at some point when they don't have a good position, they usually end up finding some rope to hang themselves with. So anyway, that ends this one. We're going to have a few more Patreon videos, and holy shit, this took fucking 30 minutes. All right, yeah, I'll see everyone in a second.